Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Virginia, SCOTUS, non-citizens, and questions. We've gotten a number of questions about Virginia, asking the Supreme Court to allow them to remove people from voter rolls just before the election. So, we're going to dive into the topic a little bit because there seems to be a little confusion. Here are some of the questions. You talked about Virginia going to the Supreme Court, but didn't mention it was so they could remove non-citizens from the rolls. You made it sound like that wasn't what they were doing. What? No mention of the Biden-Harris administration fighting to keep illegals on the rolls? Woke mind virus got you? Do you honestly think they'd remove actual citizens? That's just something stupid people think. Okay, so I think I understand the objections. The government doesn't make mistakes, and the list would be non-citizens. There's a former TSA employee by the name of Mary Howard Ellie. She's a Trump supporter with, as she describes it, the quote, whitest name you could have. She believes Trump is the only person who can handle immigration, but she probably won't be voting for him. Because despite being a U.S. citizen, she was removed from the rolls in Texas after being flagged as a non-citizen, and so far has been unable to get back on the rolls. In an interview, which I'll put down below, she fumed, quote, "Who is allowing people to do this to United States citizens? I understand we have a problem with immigration, but come on now." She isn't the only U.S. citizen that has been identified as removed. Now, that's in Texas. What about Virginia? According to the DOJ suit in Prince William County, about 1 in 4 of those removed before July 31st are likely U.S. citizens. The other issue is that there's a federal law that prohibits purging voter rolls within 90 days of an election. Federal courts said no. So now, Virginia is taking the case to the Supreme Court. The other thing to keep in mind is that studies conducted by groups from across the political spectrum have repeatedly looked into the topic of non-citizens voting and found that it almost never happens. Most put it in the neighborhood of around 1 in a million. The Brannon Center for Justice study found 30 suspected cases out of 23.5 million votes analyzed. So, I guess 1 in 780,000 or so. So the DOJ isn't fighting to keep illegals on. They're fighting to stop U.S. citizens from being wrongly removed so that Republicans can have a political talking point. The number of people who cast themselves as anti-establishment, who think the government doesn't make mistakes, is just amazing. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.